Question 13 then, from paper 1 of the 2021 Higher Maths Resource Paper, section A, the one with the vectors and the recurrence relations. And this is the recurrence relations question. Just little 4 marks, and it's like the easiest sort of recurrence relation question. Find a particular term and find the limit. The only difference here is you'll be going backwards. So what does it say? For 2 marks, what's the value of U5? Well, it depends where you start, because what a recurrence relation does, it only tells you how to get the next term. It says the next term is 2/3 of the preceding term plus 8. So if you're starting at any particular term, the only way you can find one much further on is just to work them out one at a time. Keep stepping forward using the recurring relation. Well, now if you want U5, it's telling you U7, so you have to go backwards. Well, if I know U7, I can find U6, because I know where it came from. So I know that 2/3 of U6 plus 8 gave me U7, which was 20. And that's the first mark. Just for stating that properly, just for understanding this recurrence relation. So for the remaining mark, I've got to go through all of the calculations. I've got to get down to U5 eventually. Well, that means that 2/3 of U6 will be take the 8 across and subtract, that'll be 12. So that means U6 will be, it'll be 3 times it divided by 2, so that's an 18. But I'm not finished. Now that I've got that, I can now carry on and say, well, 2/3 of U5 plus 8 gave me the 18, because that was the U6. So now 2/3 of U5 would be, take the 18 across is 10. So U5 will be, divide by the 2 is 5, times the 3 is 15. So there's my answer. U5 is 15. Part B, determine the limit of this sequence for 2 marks. Well, there's 2 ways you can do that. There's a formula that goes L equals B over Y minus A, but you don't need to remember that because you can just work it out by its actual meaning in the first place. Where the A and the B, that's the A and that's the B. The A is the factor and the B is the amount that's added. So you could do that. You could say, well, that's going to be 8 over 1 minus 2/3. And then calculate that. So you could say 1 minus 2/3 is a third. And then instead of dividing by a third, multiply by 3. So 3 8s are 24. So there's your answer. So I suppose the first mark would be like here for using the formula properly and then for evaluating it. Or you could just say what it means. If this reaches a limit, if it reaches a limit, it means it levels off. The answers are getting higher and higher, but they're getting closer and closer together until eventually they've just leveled off. What would they level off at? They'll have leveled off when the following term is the same as the preceding term. In other words, whatever you put in here, you end up with the same answer. Then you've hit the limit. So you can just call that limit L, which says this. If you put that number L into it and work out the following term, you just end up with L again. So that's the other way of doing it. You could make up that statement. The limit would be 2/3 of the limit plus 8. Then you would just bring that across. Bring that across and you'll have 1/3 of L equals 8. Then take the 3 across and multiply equals 24. Either way, if you like, that involves understanding, and that's just a wee bit of rote, isn't it? Just remember the formula.